Hello and welcome to the 51%, a show about women reshaping our world. I'm Claire Pride, filling in for Annette Young. Coming up, I'll be speaking to Sujatra Ghosh, an Indian artist who's photographed women wearing cow masks because he says Indians are more likely to be punished for hurting a cow than abusing a woman. You'll meet a former police bodyguard who's trying to keep women safe from violent men. That's in our report on the battle against gender violence in Spain. And a female documentary maker shines the light on women, famous and not, in the restaurant business. Are cows treated better than women? That's the question at the centre of a project by photographer Sujatra Ghosh. He's from India, where cows are revered by many and violence against women is rife. A rape is reported every 15 minutes and conviction rates are low. Meanwhile, there's a state where cow slaughter can result in prison for life. Sujatra Ghosh joins me now from New Delhi. Hello, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to join us on the 51%. How did this project come about?
This project reflects the current socio-political scenario of my country, where cows are more protected than women. And this is the outburst of what has been happening in and around us. And that is why I implemented the project in my own way. And this is a silent form of protest for me.
So tell us about women not being as well protected as cows, you say, then?
Yes, in my country, when it comes to cows, like, people are slaughtered and lynched in terms of like in the name of cow protection. But when it comes to sexual crimes and abuses related to women, we wait for 5 to 7 years for the conviction, or maybe for the result to come out. So that is what concerns me.
So what would you like to see happen as a result of this project in India?
I wish to raise awareness through the project. As you can understand, that things can't change overnight, as this is a very deep-rooted thing, and this has been happening for years. So after the new government came to power in 2014, these kind of crimes started rising up more. So I wish to create awareness at first, and yes, that is what I look forward to do.
Because you're being critical of the government, has there been much of a backlash?
So when I started off with the project on social media, especially Instagram, the result was overwhelming, and I started getting praises from all over. But when the project went on Twitter, I started getting cannibalism threats in a way, where people told me I should be slaughtered and lynched and my meat should be served to XYZ personnel, which was somehow crazy.
So these photos, like you say, they're on Instagram, where you describe yourself as a feminist and an optimist. So despite these threats, are you optimistic, though, that there could be positive change in India just around the corner, that rape and molestation numbers will go down?
As long as I'm striking up a conversation and I'm letting people think about it. And I think it's a good sign in a way, because as long as people are thinking about it, I think things can change, and it could be betterment, like it could be in a way of betterment for India.
Now, changing the law is one thing, mentality is another. Like you say, this is a deep-rooted problem. What do you think needs to be done, particularly about deeply entrenched patriarchal attitudes?
So I think when it comes to in such a big country like India, even though laws are in place, I think implementation is the biggest problem. So I think there should be better ways of implementing things. And I think raising awareness, or like creating awareness, could lead up somewhere better for our country, as I think the upcoming generation, or maybe the current generation, can really think about it, and maybe it can lead somewhere positive for my country.
Now, as we've seen throughout the interview, you picked a wide variety of locations for these shoots. Do you have a favourite picture? If so, which one is it, and why?
Yes, like, there are a few of my favorite pictures, but one of the favorite picture of mine is the woman who's sitting on the boat, and so the woman so the river which I have photographed is known as the holy river in India, and holy river meets the holy animal and also meets the woman. So it's somehow significant for me, and it's somehow one of my favorite pictures. And other than that, I also have a favorite picture where a woman is standing in front of the meat shop, and the cow or the woman, as my project goes, looks slightly confused. And I think we are confused in that way in my country, where we don't think about women and we go on protecting cows all the time, and we go to such an extent where we don't even think before killing people.
All right, well, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Shudratra Ghosh joining us there from New Delhi. Turning our attention now to gender violence in Spain. At least 28 Spanish women have been killed at the hands of partners or ex-partners this year. Every day, some 400 complaints are filed at police stations nationwide. Some women going on hunger strike in central Madrid to draw attention to this issue. They say Spain's 2004 law on gender violence doesn't go far enough, and they want the government to spend more on helping victims. Marion Godin and Sarah Morris report.
Tenían 31, 38 y 55 años. Tres mujeres han sido asesinadas presuntamente por sus parejas en una...
The headlines on the main news on Spanish television show the crime scenes. Every week in Spain, at least one woman is killed by her partner. This woman, Gloria Vázquez, spent 2 months demonstrating on the square Puerta del Sol in Madrid.
We began with a group of 11 people on a 27-day hunger strike. Then we did another one, 21 days, and a third one, 7 days.
She was backed by several dozen women who all wanted to make their voices heard.
There isn't any financial aid to help victims. They don't offer any practical solutions for women to escape the situation. There is no legal aid either. When a woman presses charges, the only thing she is offered is to go to a safe centre with a system that resembles a prison. But she's not the one who's committed a crime.
On the internet, it's easy to find examples of what some women have endured. Every day, about 400 women report violence by a partner to the police. To deal with all those cases, in 2004, special units were introduced in 173 police stations around the country.
We can't individually protect every woman who reports gender violence, but we try to offer help in relation to the level of risk they face. If a woman is at a low risk, we will remain in contact with her, while when a woman faces an extreme risk, we'll put her under protection 24 hours a day.
Round-the-clock protection is what Carolina's association in the Basque Country offers. She prefers not to show her face to our camera. She's a bodyguard. Last year, she began a completely free service for gender violence victims.
I had the idea for this association when I worked for the police for public security. I had to treat several cases of abused women, and I saw the gaps in the system.
The associations we spoke to say 540,000 women are currently being abused by their partners in Spain.
That was part of a focus report. You can watch it in full on our website, france24.com/en. Click on shows and then focus. Now, many industries are dominated by men, and the restaurant business is no exception. A new French documentary called Searching for Female Chefs focuses on this issue. It's produced and directed by a woman, Virane Fridiani, who travelled the world to meet not just acclaimed female chefs, but also those making a more discreet contribution to the industry. Emerald Maxwell reports.
There have always been women like Madame André in the kitchen. But of the 2,650 Michelin-starred chefs today, only 5% are women.
And I'm a chef.
It was on typing the word chef on the internet that director Virane Fridiani was struck by the lack of female faces. Breakout stars like Anne-Sophie Pic remain the exception.
Women have trouble putting themselves forward. They have a different approach when they enter the kitchen. They see it as a personal challenge and feel they have to prove themselves first. Communication comes later. It's the opposite for men, and in the world we live in, communication's key.
Yet France did have some impressive female role models at the start. Known as the Lyonnaise mothers, Brasier, Fillou, country girls who had opened their own bistros and went on to teach men, like Paul Bocuse. Mother Brasier's granddaughter remembers those days.
If he was 20 years younger, I'd have probably gone for him myself.
He was a real womanizer.
But you know, chefs, the heat of the ovens makes them horny.
Although macho culture still reigns in the kitchen, the film's voyage to find women reveals their particular challenges and aspirations. But a shift change is coming. We found it at Paris's prestigious Cordon Bleu culinary school. Of the thousands of students here from around the world, 65% are women. This chef's husband and daughter stayed in China, while she came to France to learn the art of patisserie.
People love French patisserie in China.
So what do you think will be most difficult about opening your own bakery?
I have family responsibilities back in China, and I have to go back soon, so unfortunately I can't spend very long here learning my craft.
We've had so many success stories. Some write books, others are food critics, others are chefs. So I'd say don't be put off by this profession and go for it.
That's the message of this mouth-watering documentary, putting the spotlight on female chefs and, more importantly, their creations.
Well, that's it for this edition. If you'd like to comment on what you've just seen, you can head to our Facebook page, that's France24.51%, or do send us a tweet at _51%. Thanks for your feedback so far. Do keep the comments coming in. Until our next show, bye for now.